truly be powerful is to know thyself. You must know yourself. It's so unfortunate how many people, I would say about 95% of people in prison right now, because they don't know themselves. They got drawn out. Someone controlled their emotions for them in that moment. When you look at people like Putin, right? When you look at some of these powerful leaders, and that's why I said I have to go back to the G7, G8, because you have to learn how world leaders think. Yeah? So when you sit down and you study world leaders, you will understand that these people, they're so strategic, and they have a cabinet around them who are very strategic. Now, yes, we do have some leaders who are not so smart, and that conversation can go left and right. We won't go there, right? But what I am saying is, you have very powerful leaders who are strategically and emotionally on point, right? And we need to study those people. Unfortunately, we do come from batches of cultures where we study the wrong type of people. We study musicians and see musicians as leaders. We study artists and we look at artists as martyrs. We are studying the wrong people. We need to study the most powerful people on the planet, not because we worship them, because they are trained. They are trained to think and act a certain way. Let me give an example, right? I'll give an example. And I'm not saying I like these people. I'm saying study these people. When the Iraq War was going on, when it first went on, right? They went to Bush at the time, and they whispered in Bush's ear, and they said, Bush, this is what's happened with 9/11, right? At the time, we now deem it and call it 9/11, yeah? One of the first things that Bush done, he got back to what he was doing, all the rest of it, and then Bush started to, people don't know that he was playing golf, and he was traveling, and he was doing all these things. People was like, this ain't the right time for that. Same thing with Boris Johnson. When certain tragic things was happening in the world, they started to go on holiday and they started to travel and they started to do different things. Same thing with Gordon Brown. Same thing with Tony Blair. Same thing with David Cameron. Same thing with, you see this with certain type of leaders, and the world is going crazy saying, it's not the time to enjoy yourself today, because today we are mourning. But if you study the most powerful people on the planet, they change their energy state before they make decisions.
Not emotionally.
They're not emotional. We all have emotions, but they're not emotional.
Yeah.
They turn around and they say, only weak leaders are emotional. The best leaders, historically, they are responsive. We're in Brexit right now because the majority of people who voted for Brexit were reactive. And now they say, we lost all the benefits of what Europe was about. But we was listening to Nigel Farage, and he promised us, no, you wasn't educated. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Back to the point of reading. Back to the point of not being emotional. Back to the point of not being reactive. We must be educated. We must be responsive. And we must have emotions so we can have empathy, but we cannot be emotional when we make bad emotional decisions.
You're right, because even if I'm going to segue into, it's relatable, even the Eubanks and Ben fight, for example, which happened recently, that was a war of, who can keep their composure as well, even before the bell rang. So if I line that from a boxer's perspective, the best fighter usually keeps their emotions intact.
Exactly.
Because the whole idea is to throw you off your game.
Exactly.
So you stop thinking.